social creatures with a wide range of demands and requests that most of them solve by communicating with others. Negotiation is a professional planned communication level to help us catch the most feedback from communication and finally meet the demands. Doesn't matter if you are a professional businessman or you're trying to have a better relation with your family and partner. This lesson teaches you to live as a professional negotiator, and it could affect and change your lifestyle. Let's review on content titles. At the first part, we learn meaning of negotiation and compare with bargaining, conversation, and discussion. The next part helps you to dominate the conversation, negotiation strategy and methods. Number 3. In the speaking course, teacher says silence is a strong expression technique. In this part, we learn the exit point in negotiation and situation we say no to negotiate. So, number 3, where you should not negotiate. Number 4, planning is the only success secret. We need a plan and checklist before negotiation. Number 5, negotiator features. As we do warm up before exercise to get ready, we need some ability and practice to get master in communications. Number 6, entrance to the negotiation. For entrance to others' mind and heart, you need to take down their guard. Number 7, imagine you are faced with a hard and maybe rude person. How to knock out. So number 7, repel or counterattack. Number 8, we feel weak, but we need to talk. How to negotiate with a stronger. Number 8, a stronger counterpart. 9, describe others' personalities, understand their emotions. Number 9, partner analyzing. 10, models of negotiation and lewiki and hiam negotiation matrix. In this part, we understand negotiators' mindset. 11, help other parties and partner to reach solution. Number 11, deadlock and solution. 12, scammers. Seems they are scammers. What do you do? Next part, how to criticizing. And the last part, control or dominate others' mind by persuasion technique. Are you ready for this lesson? Let's start it. Watching this video equal to reading some book and article. So give me your all attention. Okay, let's continue on the screen. Some friends don't have a true definition of negotiation, and that is why they are not successful in the business, because they go wrong from the basic step and continue. Negotiation aims to reach a result where both parties are in win-win situation. When we say win-win situation, it's not meaning 50% and 50%. Okay? Sometimes you fight to have a 10% of a cake, and 10% for you is a win situation. On the other hand, there are some words that seem to be a type of negotiation, but it's not. Bargaining. Bargaining can be termed as a conversation that aims to reach a result where either of two reaps benefits. In bargaining, we are focusing on only one result, but in negotiation, we look for a win situation where we receive some concessions and we don't talk around only one result. Therefore, we can say bargaining is a subset part of the negotiation sequential techniques. What about debate? This is a type of discussion in public meeting, and as you know, politicians try to collect votes through the debate and they don't seek solutions. And the last, persuasion. As a simple definition, this is ability to change or complete another person's belief, directing the thoughts of others. Of course, this is an important ability in negotiation, and we will talk about the techniques, negotiation strategy and methods. If you research negotiation strategy, maybe you face different data, and that's because of improper or displacement data. So we should identify techniques and methods from the strategy. A strategy is a plan that includes goals, methods, and techniques, while the method is the procedure and how the plan is. Okay? About negotiation, there are different divisions. For example, the strategy, distributive negotiation, integrative negotiation, team negotiation, and multi-party. I don't agree with this type of teaching because this is not a strategy. For example, team negotiation. It's not a strategy. This is a type of negotiation. You all know what is teamwork, right? As a negotiation strategy, there are 3 key approaches to negotiation: hard, soft, and principled negotiation. In hard strategy, negotiators focus on position. They come to get points and concessions. Hard negotiation comes to fight, and they persist in their comments. About their tricks, here we have a sample list. Refuse to negotiate. They define preconditions for negotiation. Extreme and unreasonable request. Stubborn partner. They will tell you that their business partner doesn't accept. Postponing the negotiation session. They do this job to increase your stress and put you under pressure. Yes or not. They tell you just tell us yes or not. Second strategy, soft strategy. Negotiators with soft strategy are looking for agreement. In fact, they are looking for trust, and they don't focus on concessions. They are willing to give points, and being friendly is their policy. But third strategy. Many experts consider the third option, principled negotiation, to be best practice. Here we are looking for interest. There is no persistence on position. There is no enemy to fight with and earn concessions. And there is no friendship meeting. What we have to focus on is interest. This strategy is what we should learn professionally. In principled negotiation, we separate negotiators from meeting subject. For example, look at this sentence. I don't have money in my bank. Now I want to separate the person from the topic. The bank account is empty. So this is what we do. So as a first step, separate people, negotiators, counterpoints, manager, and others from the topic. Try to find interest and concessions for yourself and your company and their company and other parties, right? It's important to know their concerns and you should be ready for their questions and you should find the answer even before interest to the meeting. It means finding their interest, guessing their probably questions, and finding better suggestions. Here we have a very important point. All data that you earn about your demands and other party, don't rush to expand your point in data. Don't hurry up. Each data is exactly the same chess pieces and be careful when you want to share and expand them. Okay, up to now, we learned negotiation strategies. This is based off negotiations. Of course, sometimes better to say no to negotiate and this type of situation, other conversation type, right? So the next section is where you should not negotiate. So we need to know where we don't negotiate and where we should leave negotiate. Exit point. Number one, the result is not important to us. Negotiating takes your time, but you are not supposed to earn anything. Number two, the possibility of significant loss. You fear to losing everything. Number three, unethical request. For instance, asking you for forbidden work, forbidden job. And number four, we don't have enough time. When you don't have time, this is possible to give many points. So you shouldn't negotiate. So sometimes we should say no to negotiation. On the other hand, we all need an exit point in our negotiations. If you feel you should leave the meeting because of one of these points that we talked, as an example of unethical request, first try to draw other parties, to draw your counterpart attention to the main topic and interests, and try to take them on principled negotiation, right? If it's not possible, you have to warn that you will not continue. Don't argue, don't endure, and don't tolerate their unreasonable request. How important? Before negotiation, we have a checklist. One of the important partitions is finding alternative. When you decide to leave negotiation, you need an alternative. This gives you confidence and protect your feeling from bad emotions and stress. We need to predict what will happen during negotiation times and then prepare a checklist and get ready. So let me start with the negotiation steps. Steps are topics that we list before negotiation and focus on. After solution. Number one, negotiation gets started with an explain the main request. Some teachers recommend you don't begin the negotiation and let other parties get it to a start. I'm not agreed with. Because imagine you are supposed to supply something from someone. Can you ask him to start the session? Can you ask him to start his selling process? You are the person who is going to purchase from the person or that company. Is it normal to ask the seller to start a negotiation? Anyway, a person or company who has more reason to negotiate gets a start by talking about their demand. So the first step is contention or explanation or request. It depends on your situation and your problem or demand. First step is definition. Second, you should clarify what you need exactly. At this level, you will draw parties' attention. You will draw counterpoint attention to the topic value. So after definition, in the second step, we will clarify the value and importance. Number 3. The third step is comprehension. Why we must take time and negotiate and resolve. Why we should do it. This is number 3. Number 4. You need to achieve their trustful. What is your ability? Show them your power. Do you have money or knowledge? When you prepare a checklist for this partition, you need to think about what they are looking for. Imagine you want to talk with your son about a problem. You should think about what are his concerns and how you can treat them. Can you solve them? This is your question. After step 3, he will understand the problem. Now it's time that your son to trust and believe in you as a person who can help to solve this problem. So, from 1 to number 3, we talked about challenge or problems, and we found out it will be better if we solve them. In number 4, we should gain others' trust, for example, by talking about experiences and ability and legal permission and documents. Number 5, the next step, cognition. In this part, maybe they ask about your experiences. In your checklist for this part, you should guess their question and find the best answer. The question you find could be the question that you asked them. And you can also design a question list to ask from them. So, number 5, we have a checklist for our question and their question. Okay? Number 6, credibility. At this level, we should prepare parties, or better say, counterparts, for the concessions step. So here we make sure all points are acceptable and valid. Therefore, at this level, you should create credibility for your points. As a simple definition, counterparts should feel you are going to do an important thing. It means don't say this is easy job for us. It will be better to say this is technical job and other same words. Number 7, concessions. Amateurs diving into explaining concessions from the first step. We need to clarify concessions. Concessions could be tangible and intangible. You can divide concessions into small parts and ask them during the meeting, and you can ask them even after the agreement and put them under pressure. When you prepare a checklist, don't forget, you should think about your counterpart's concessions. Imagine you are supposed to prepare 2 checklists for you and your business partner or counterpart or anybody you're going to talk, right? We don't know their negotiation plan, but we can ask them more if they ask us for more concessions. We can also ask them for conditional concessions. Okay, we will do it for you if you do that job for us. This name is conditional concession. We will do it if you do that job. Understand? The technical point is you should guess their concessions and be ready for them. For example, to ask a price for the sofa, ask if this price is for the sofa with cautions. Cautions are seller concessions, tangible concessions, and if you don't ask this question, the seller asks you a separate amount for the cautions and you probably pay because the seller stays for an agreement, and when you decide to buy that sofa, they will ask you more money for cautions. So better if you define all concessions for yourself and talk about them during the negotiation, and don't let your counterpart that surprise you. Of course, you can stay for the question and get ready for a counterattack. Number 8, conciliation. In this step, all business parties accept to lose some concessions to reach other concessions. You should define priority for your concessions and try to save the main points. The next step is conclusion. Now it's time to reach a comprehensive result. And final step, commission. Talking about cost, for example, in the commercial contract, who is going to pay shipping cost or insurance cost. Now recording the minutes of meeting and proceeding, and finally sign. Next part is negotiator features. If negotiation is a part of your business and you earn money from this skill, you need to be updated and expert in this field. Number 1, your business concepts, terminology, and specialized terms. For example, in the shipping field, you need to know famous ports. Number 2, supply and demand. Being updated with customers' demand. Some markets and some of the business are seasonal, right? Number 3, conventional and routine solution. Mortgage and rent rules in real estate, as example. Number 4, process. For instance, harvest process in agriculture. And number 5, news. Being updated with economic and other news that could affect on your business. So these 5 and negotiation skills are necessary for a negotiator to become a professional person. How to enter into the negotiation. In normal, people have a guard for new things. A simple fault could turn on their smart defense system. So it's important how to start your sentences and how to manage and maintain the session with your communication skills. You could take down their defense guard, and it depends on how to start. The first point that you shouldn't forget, separate people from the session subject that we talked about it in principal negotiation. So now you separate your counterpart and put them at the attention center. For example, ask them, what is important to you? We would like to hear your suggestion. What is your plan? What is the main problem? So, you should leave them this message that you are coming to meet the demands and not coming to catch the opportunities and concessions. This is making trust way. Repel and counterattack. If they decided to attack you, I mean attack yourself, not a negotiation topic. In this situation, connect attacks to the main subject. For example, in the recruitment session, the employer tells you you don't have Office software certificate, so you can't work with Excel and Word software. Now, we want to connect this to the main topic. We should say, I think this job needs a person who can work with Office software and who has the potential to learn new things and don't need a certificate. Employer attacked my resume. He told me you don't have the certificate, and I turned it to the main subject and answered this job needs a skill, not certificate. Don't forget to separate the subject from the person. I mean, don't tell the employer, don't need my certificate. You don't need my certificate. You should say, this job needs a skill, not certificate. So, we learned how to repel or counterattack. As a reminder, we have also exit point. A stronger counterpart. Sometimes you have to negotiate with a person or company who is stronger than you. Imagine a street fight. He's a fighter material and you are a polite person. He's really good at cursing and punching. He doesn't fear your muscles. Physically, he's strong. But he scares of the police. He doesn't like prison. So, you need to show him your law knowledge. Just don't forget to make the distance between you and the subject. So, about a stronger counterpart, add the ability that you are strong into your checklist. Counterpart analyzing. Some of the teachers encourage you to learn MBTI to analyze personality and DISC method to understand behavior tips and the Big Five or 5-factor model for personality style. This is fantastic science but doesn't work in negotiation session because if your mind gets busy with understanding other person's personalities, you will lose the main negotiation. So don't be a psychologist, just act as a negotiator. Don't matter their body language. Focus on principled negotiation and learn to manage concessions and find interest. Models of negotiation and lewiki and hiam negotiation matrix. Models of negotiation is not a strategy which help us to gain more in our business meeting or in other types of conversation. These models are negotiator mindset. For example, win-win model, win-lose or lose-lose models. These are mindset and it's not technique and don't have usage. First part of lesson I told you to don't negotiate if you feel you are going to lose everything. So we can say lose-lose or win-lose negotiation, right? Anyway, there are many different methods to teach you negotiation models, and one of them that I like it is lewiki and hiam negotiation matrix. Just remember, this is just mindset. I never recommend to focus on this table, but maybe it could help you to predict your counterpart strategy. Anyway, here we have 2 axes and 5 rectangle. Axis shows importance of outcome and importance of relationship. The first rectangle or square, avoiding. It means your mind don't like to negotiate because there is no importance for outcome and relationship. Number 2, accommodating. The only thing that pressure on you to negotiate is relationship and there is no outcome. For example, negotiation with your manager. Sometimes you decide to give up to save your relationship, right? The next one is competing. It means don't care to people and relation and fight for result and outcome. Focus on win. It means focus on win and don't lose concessions. Number 4, collaborating. It means relation and a result. Both of them are important to us. We decide to use all skills to save relation and gain outcomes. Number 5 is compromising. We are looking for agreement, and this is a mix of other situations. As I mentioned, these classifications don't help us, but it's better to have a review on. Deadlock and solution. When you decide to prepare a checklist, it's important to find a replacement solution for your counterpart, because maybe they fall into a deadlock and even get confused. If they are in the wrong or you feel they are scammers, try to take them into the principled negotiation. It means discovering the main subject and finding interest. If you learn principled negotiation, it's time to learn persuasion tricks. As a final point for negotiation, you need a notebook and all necessary documents. Notebook helps you to answer all questions and how to manage your negotiation. And documents make trust and validity for you. Criticizing. To criticize, it will be better to start with positive features and don't criticize directly. If you remember, we shouldn't turn on others' party defense system. Talk about subject, not people. For example, this job should be done right under our protocols, but it seems rules have been broken and results don't meet the standards. On the other hand, we can say, you didn't care about our protocol and we can't accept your mistake because your result doesn't meet the standard. So don't forget to use the first one and talk about subject and not people. Persuasion technique. I'd like to prepare another video for persuasion techniques because it will be a long video. So if you would like to follow these lessons, find me on YouTube. Your comments and your subscription to the channel encourage me to prepare more video. But as a final point, you know principled negotiation, but maybe your counterpoint doesn't. So this is your art to manage the negotiation, and it's important to refuse any connection when there is not a good situation. Imagine your counterpoint is angry. Help him to get calm or postpone the session. The second point, we talked about negotiation, not routine discussion or verbal dispute, and other same. Of course, negotiation tricks could help you in different situations, but it's not meant to open a new negotiation topic for each person you meet. So be careful about situation you shouldn't take time to negotiation. I'm waiting for you in the next lesson. See you soon.